All righty, traders. It is Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. Let's get into some charts, and we'll jump into our daily portfolio recap as well today. Let me share my screen. Let's just jump into the charts, and we'll start there. All righty, here's what happened in the markets today. SPY moved down about 1.4%, so a little bit of a down day. On SPY, SPX obviously moving down almost 61 points. So 61 point day, pretty outsized move. Let's take a look at how that affects any of the technicals and what we see. If we're looking at the weekly chart here, it doesn't do anything. We've already said that we've been in an a MACD downtrend. RSI falling. It's already broken the 50, continues to fall further. No surprises here. You remain in this downtrend channel. We'll extend this channel out just a fraction here, a little bit longer. And if we look at the daily chart here, MACD has been falling there, and RSI has been falling there as well. So no surprise that we end up with a down day today. We did manage to break below the 200 2 days ago. Bounced back up above it yesterday and then fell decently below it and came right down to this previous pivot level here. So this level was the high back in January, pretty decent high, and we've come down now and twice. So we banged on it once and then closed on it today, closing pretty close to the lows of the session, just fractionally off the lows. This downtrend channel has a little bit more to go. We could get down into 415, which would be about 4150 or so, 4140, something in those lines. We'll see what happens, but really no change in the outlook of SPY, and technicals are still very weak, saying we're going down lower. Now the Qs, on the other hand, again, no difference in trend. MACD, RSI falling. RSI broke last week through the 50, heading lower here, falling down to the bottom of this downtrend. We broke the 21 EMA, but we're still above the 50 and the 200 on the weekly. So just a bit of a downtrend here. And in this tightening channel that we're in, I'll extend these lines out a bit further, at least on the bottom, and we'll do it on the top as well. So we're down close to the bottom of that change, bottom of the Bollinger Band, finished on the lows of the session. So we gapped down and ran lower, stayed lower pretty much most of the session. MACD continues to just fall lower, and RSI continues to fall lower. We are not in any kind of an oversold territory, and we have not really hit this 3 ATR range. And what I'm going to do on this 3 ATR here is I'm actually going to change, and let's take a quick look here. Okay, I'm going to change this to white. So I'm going to change the 3 ATR to white, and I'm going to add a 2 ATR as well. All right, so let's go in here. I usually use the 21, correlates with my 21 as well, and we're going to use a factor of 2. I'm not going to put the average in, but we will do the upper band, and we'll do red, and we'll do the lower band as well. Should be the same red, but we'll make sure. And we'll apply these, and that does not look exactly correct. That's because that's 20, not 2. All right, boom. All right, now we got it. All right, so here's where we are. So one thing you will notice is you got the 3 ATR band on the dailies outside here. So we're nowhere near an oversold level on RSI. We're not near an oversold level on the 3 ATR calendar, but we are at the 2. And a lot of times, if we get outside the 2, we will head back to the 21 as well. If we get to the 3, we can have a tendency to ride it a bit. But the 2, we'll see what happens. But these they're really not falling substantially here. They are downtrending, but they are not like free-falling Keltner channels lower, which means it's kind of hard to ride it down. Now, anything can happen tomorrow. We can start to move lower significantly, and you'll see those start to open up. Anyway, that's what we're looking at here, not in oversold territory. In fact, I'm going to save this particular grid as well. Let's look at the IWM. Another just horrific day on IWM, heading to the bottom of this channel, I'm going to extend this line out a bit on the weekly. So we're getting close to the bottom of this channel that IWM has been in. We'll see what happens if we get any kind of a bounce. Right now, bounces aren't looking too likely, and you're just traveling along this channel to the downside here. A pretty good down day. MACD, RSI falling, MACD, RSI falling, weekly, daily, all the same. You're getting close to an oversold territory, which is why getting to this bottom here, and you're now outside the 2 standard deviation ATR on a Kelder. You're not quite to the 3, but you are quite a bit oversold and extended past the 21. So you're 2 standard deviations away. I would expect potentially some kind of a rebound in that a bit at some point. And maybe this previous level here will hold. We'll see what IWM holds. Put call ratio rose back up today. So it's just been yo-yoing up and down, which it has a tendency to do. And right now, the 10-day moving average on that is really not signifying that we're heading back higher quite yet. We'll take a look at that on a different chart. VIX popped up a little bit today. Here, so ending the day at 20 was as high as 21 on the session. One thing here on the weekly, and again, a 1 bar weekly does not give me any kind of an indication of a change in trend. However, you are at the top of this uptrend channel. We broke it, finished below it the last 2 days, and MACD trying to potentially roll over with RSI not setting new highs in here. So we'll keep an eye on that. And if we look really in here at the daily, it's just kind of moving sideways. I mean, we're at the exact same level that we were at all the way back here on 9/26. So 30 days later, we really haven't done a whole lot of anything on the VIX. Similar levels to what we were a month ago. A lot of up and down in here, but MACD, RSI still aren't super strong, and MACD is rolling over on the daily. So a little tough on the volatility. The dollar, interesting week this week. So we've had a couple of low sessions that we broke to the lows, and then we're right back into this box area that we've got here. So we're still in this sideways consolidation. MACD is starting to move higher. RSI starting to move higher, back above 50. Weekly, MACD is failing a bit, second week in a row, but we'll see what happens overall here. But we did break out sideways in the trend, and a decent up move on the dollar today, but only 0.26 for a percentage point, and they're still in this consolidation mode. Nothing to do here. TLT, you're still at the bottom of this falling wedge. You're at the very lows. MACD falling, RSI falling, but we are oversold, but we've been there now since 10/2. So for almost 3+ weeks, we've been oversold on the weekly. And then on a daily here, you had a little bit of a bounce off this line when we got to the 3 ATR here, and we bounced. We're right back down on the this trend line, and a pretty good down day. So TLT, if you thought that was the start of the big bounce yesterday and you got all long, you lost 2.23% today on TLT, just falling back to new lows. This PSAR bearish trend is still in place. You're still well below the 25 or the 21 and the 50 EMAs. MACD still falling. RSI is just kind of moving sideways. Nothing on TLT. And then if we look at the 10-year rate, now I know the 30-year did hit, I think, over 5%, but even though we had an up move and a decent up move here, RSI is starting to tick up, but it is still not matching these highs. So we'll see what happens. If we hit a new high here and RSI can get way up, then maybe we'll get some correlation. But RSI is still diverging from this up move that we've had in the rates. So I think today was just a bit of a bounce, not a whole lot of anything else in there. It's just this sideways consolidation. All right, so there's the markets. 6A, looking at the Aussie dollar, had a decent down session today. It remains downtrending overall on the daily and the weekly. MACD is trying to recover on the weekly, but RSI has been falling weekly, and they're both falling on the daily. So nothing to trade there. British pound down. Again, MACD continues to fall on the daily, and so does RSI. Canadian dollar hitting some new, fresh, recent lows here as MACD and RSI continue to fall. So it's not performing well at all. And the 60, which is the euro, which is the one that we are most interested in here, because this one looks like it's trying to move higher on the weekly. And we did break out of this downtrend sideways, at least on the daily. We had this bullish PSR signal, didn't quite get touched today, could flip to bearish tomorrow, we'll see, but we are nowhere near overextended one way or the other. So just some sideways consolidation in here. I still like it. I think this is still a good opportunity here for maybe a 1-1-2 trade. Bonds, we already covered this with TLT earlier. This falling wedge, we broke to the upside and now coming back down. I'm going to redraw these a tad now so that we get a little bit better sense of what's going on. But we are in this falling wedge pattern here. MACD rose, yesterday decently in the session, kind of sideways today. RSI did break through the 50, or did not break through the 50, did break through from this oversold, was moving higher to the 40s, back down to the 30s, remains oversold weekly. So we'll see if we can break through to the upside. But really, a down day, rates were up, bonds fell, dollar was up on the session. Oil continues to be fairly weak overall. Weekly, just downtrend MACD, downtrending RSI, and then here on the daily, downtrending recently. But RSI is just kind of kicking around sideways. Did get a little bit of a boost today. So we broke the 50 yesterday, had a little bit of a bounce in oil today, a little bit of an increase in volatility in oil as well. Up 1.8%. And then here on gold, still hanging in there pretty good. So MACD, RSI rising weekly, MACD rolling over on the daily, while RSI continues to bounce around the overbought level, just moving sideways on gold. But we did hit the 3 ATR and broke through that again today. So Bollinger Bands way up here and open. Broke the 2 ATR, this 2 ATR, we've been above this for 5 sessions now, and now you're back above the 3 ATR. Gold absolutely overextended here a bit. And if we look at oil volatility, it did get a pretty good little bounce today, up 10%. Gold volatility up almost 4.5% today. So volatility back in play a fraction as VIX moves higher to 20, oil and gold volatility moving higher as well. Let's take a look at the sectors and what did what today. Only 2 positive sectors: utilities up 0.5%, and then the consumer staples here also just up fractionally on the sessions. Both of these looking decent on the daily and the weekly chart. So if you look at utilities, trying to make some moves here, coming off these lows. So utilities look decent. Your leading sector to the downside by far and away were semiconductors. Just got rocked today. This falling wedge. Now we're at the bottom of the falling wedge, but we are extended past the 2 ATR, not quite to the 3 ATR, and you're getting to oversold levels on the daily RSI. So not a great looking sign for semis, down 12% today. Taking a look at XLC, so this is your communications, dropped mainly because Google took a significant hit today, and Meta also fell on this day. However, Meta is up in after hours trading here with earnings. Those are your big sector movers up and down. Let's take a look at what happened. And today was a tech slaughter for the most part. In fact, but if you look at the sectors, XLK was only down a little over 1%. The Q's down 2.5%. So it wasn't just tech that was hitting it, but all the big cap tech stocks got wrecked today. Amazon falling below this previous support area here. We'll see if this becomes a resistance level here. So it's been support multiple times, 4 or 5 times. Now we broke through it. So does this line flip now and become a resistance level on Amazon? We still have earnings coming up, and earnings are on the 26th. So after the bell tomorrow on Amazon, but it was down almost 6% today. Apple down over 1% today. Apple earnings are coming up on 11/2. Microsoft, after its earnings, did have a decent gap up day, finished off of its highs, but finished up pretty nicely. Made it to the 3 ATR and then failed back down to the 2 ATR in the top of the Bollinger Band here. But good looking, moves weekly and the daily. So Microsoft's been moving higher. Meta has been moving lower heading into earnings today, but it is up about 8 points now in the after hours session. So down on the day today for Meta. So it was down, but it's up in after hours. I'm assuming with an earnings beat, and we can check that out as well. So we'll see how that did. But Meta did beat on the top and bottom line on a 23% revenue bump. IBM beat on the top and bottom line after earnings today as well. And you got Microsoft, who beat yesterday and maybe taking some cloud share away from Amazon, which I think that's a good reason Amazon's down, is Microsoft's cloud computing was really a strong point yesterday in that, which could be a very negative for Amazon heading into earnings there. Google down almost 10% on the day, just cratering below this rising wedge that we had. A pretty significant down day. NVIDIA down 4% on the session. Tesla down only almost just under 2%. Oversold on the daily, and seeing MACD really flattening out here. Might be an interesting area to watch. I mean, we're still holding this line. So this support level here has just been holding. We are now down to the 3 ATR. So it's all holding, giving some support. That might be what the markets might need to get a little sideways breathing room coming up. And then AMD took a pretty good hit today, dropping back inside this downtrending channel. MACD and RSI have just been falling daily, weekly. So it's not looking too hot here. Even if we look at Qualcomm down 4%. So really your semis taking a pretty big hit. And as we cycle through anything else, Square down 8% on the day. So that's also having just a horrific day. PayPal down 5% on the day, hitting new lows for over a year now. So PayPal really getting creamed out there. And let's see, anything else really up. And Bitcoin has really been the story. I really haven't covered this a ton, probably not giving it the credit it deserves. But you've seen back here, MACD and RSI were rising. They broke through the 50, came down, tested it back here. That was the trigger. Going long, we came back up, hit right on this previous support resistance level here that we had hit. But MACD has been rising, since the 16th, which is right around when this thing took off on the 9th. So between the 9th and the 16th, and then just rocketed. So from 2,800 up to 3,400 and change, closing at 34,766. Massive Bitcoin move. Are people jumping into it? Is this another opportunity? If they're jumping out of the market, are they going back into Bitcoin? It is so far extended over the 3 ATR and the 2 ATR that it is not funny. You are as far above the RSI oversold level as you could possibly get, yet it moved higher today as well. I think Bitcoin is a bit overextended here. crazy up moves. I mean, crazy, but if you're in it, congratulations. If you've been holding weekly, bullish PSAR, daily, you are in a definite bullish mode, but I'd like to see potentially some kind of pullback, at least to the 2 or 3 ATR, if not to the 21. So I think here, your best short-term bet is going to be maybe that this thing has topped a bit here, pulling back, but then I think it can go higher. So good move on Bitcoin. One way to play that is using MicroStrategy to play that. That's the proxy that I use to play Bitcoin. So I think that's a great opportunity. You can see how it just mirrors everything here about Bitcoin. All right, so there's where things were in the markets today. Let's take a look quickly at our accounts and see what we did. And really a pretty boring day in the account. So here's the IRA. So let's just jump into the IRA. We haven't closed anything for 2 days in the IRA. Delta's hanging in there, 0.12%, 832 on theta, totally fine, all within acceptable limits. We hit a new all-time high yesterday, and we lost $300 today on that lick. So, still doing well overall. BP did continue to move up. We're keeping an eye on it, see how things go. I don't have anything because of the increased volatility right now. Theta's pumped up, BP's pumped up, but no reason to get too crazy about it in here. So there's your IRAs, and then if we look at the main account here today, Delta inched up more. So as the market drops, Delta is naturally going to increase on us, but we're still at 0.18, so still under my 0.2 threshold on that. You've got theta moving up decently on the session, so you got solid theta because volatility is moving up. We got good theta in there. Again, we're over leveraged a tad. We gave back a bit. So yesterday we were within a whisker of a new all-time high, I think 300 points or so. Today we gave back $4,000 on it. BP usage remained almost identical today, and we closed nothing. Technically I have a $50 winner. I'm not even booking it here for you, but we got into a put credit spread this morning, but Tasty Trade was having massive issues. It was slow. It wasn't registering the correct readings. I was watching the stock move higher. We hit it at the low, but because I couldn't see what I was doing and Tasty Trade wasn't updating and it was slow, I did not want to get caught if the market reversed hard. So I took it off for, I think, a 10-cent winner with 500 contracts. So we made $50 on the session. I'm not even putting it in the chart here. But it would have been an absolute full-on 50% winner. Tasty Trade owes me several $100s for a screwed up platform this morning where you really couldn't trade significantly. But anyway, we're still up great on the month, 11,771. Our monthly return nearly 4%, and our net lick is up 7% on the month today. And we really hung in there pretty good. I mean, you're talking a 1% down move with the markets moving down a little over 1.5%. So I think we're in good shape. I like where we are on that. And if we take a look at the small account, this actually went up today. And we were at new all-time highs yesterday. So, Delta is in perfect shape. Theta is a little low because we closed a trade today. We'll talk about that. Net lick did gain a fraction on the day, so we jumped up in net lick. So another new all-time high in the small account. We're up. And BP dropped significantly because we took a significant size trade off, and BP use went all the way down to 35. So we have room. We've got a 112 and some other things to put on. We booked $310 in profit today, and just to go through exactly what that trade was, that was a oil strangle. So we had a strangle on oil in the small account. We had opened it on 8/16 for 63 cents, closed it today for 32. So roughly a 50% winner. Took 70 days for this thing to come off on here too, but a nice 12% return on capital. So bumped us to another new all-time high. Again, if you focus on the daily returns and you focus on your realized profits, and your strategies, the net lick takes care of itself. So even on a down day like today, we're up in net lick on the small account. So fantastic trading day overall on the small account. Decent day here. Nothing happened. I'm a little mad at Tasty Trade for just having a terrible platform this morning and costing me several $100. But it's all resolved here. Net lick dropped fractionally on the day. No losses in the account. Everything continues to move forward like where we are. All of the Greeks are in pretty good alignment. We're just still heavy on BP, and we're a little heavy on theta. We need to see some stuff come off here, and we've got a 112 on copper. That's up 88%. We've got some gold strangles, of which one's at 32, one's at 24%. So those are getting close to coming off. We've got an oil 112, it's up 80%. We've got another oil 112 up 37%. And then we've got some oil strangles that are just down fractionally. And then we've got the Aussie dollar 112, which is up 260% with 9 days to go. We'll be looking at making some adjustments on that as per our adjustments for 112 trades. All right, you guys stay safe and take care out there. I think that'll conclude everything for the session today. I hope you got a lot out of this. If you want to see what we're doing, come and join us over at the Discord. I really think you're going to get a lot of great education out of it. It's an investment in your education. Learn how to adjust. It's not an alert service. We do post our trades live. Okay, I could care less if you follow any alert. What I want you to do is learn trading strategies, learn how to adjust, learn how to manage your portfolio, learn how to handle different types of trades, different types of environments, and get in with a group of people who are all there trying to make themselves better traders as well. That's what it's for. It's an investment in you. Go ahead and do that. If you like this video, please go ahead and click that like button down below. So go ahead and click the like button. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber, but go ahead and click the like button. Let's see how many likes we can get out there here. Let's get a good community going. I appreciate it. If there's anything you want me to cover, drop it in the comments. I do my best. There's a lot of comments across a lot of videos because I'm doing this daily and I'm sharing my trades live with you. I'm not just sharing, wins only. I'm sharing wins. I'm sharing losses. I'm giving you the insights into 3 different portfolios here. And if you join us in Discord, you'll see exactly how everything is constructed there. So come and join us. I hope this was helpful to you. You guys take care. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everybody.